Hey everybody, it's Glenn, back in this video with Confessions of an Ebayaholic, and this week on eBay I've picked up this Marvel Legends Drax from a seller in Canada, I believe. Shipped to me here in the UK, worked out about £19 and change. This is of course from the Guardians of the Galaxy box set, which when announced I had planned on buying, but alas my wallet can only stretch so far, and paying top dollar for figures I already own really. A movie Groot Build-A-Figure with a new head, a Build-A-Figure Rocket with a new head. That's not to say that Drax here isn't himself a mishmash of reused parts, as he is, and we'll get to that later, but Drax is my guy. Watching the Guardians movie, to my surprise, he was the character I connected to most, plus the forthcoming Drax solo comic title is being co-written by former WWE star turned UFC star CM Punk, who I'm a big fan of, and I think the purchase of this figure may be symptomatic of my excitement for that forthcoming title. This is third time around for the character in Marvel Legends. Of course, last year we got the movie Legends Drax, then back in 2012's Arnim Zola series we got the first comic Drax. The complaint back when he was released was that the action figure just wasn't muscular enough. As for the movie Legends, well, it representing Batista, who played Drax in the movie, his WWE wrestler physique did the character justice. Then this newest one is even more ripped, and rightfully so, as movie compared to comic. I'd expect the comic representation to embody the exaggerated and stylized proportions that typify comic art. Then below the waist they share exactly the same parts, but I do like the metallic paint treatment they've done on the boots of the new Drax. It lends a lived-in look, making them appear like he's travelled the galaxy kicking ass in them. That beefy upper body comes by virtue of Hyperion via a number of other reuses. An obvious telltale sign of that reuse is that he has the holes on his back where on Hyperion his cape plugs in. Now taking a closer look, and his head reuses that of Radioactive Man from the Target exclusive triple pack that came with Miss Marvel and Captain America. An imperfection that really bugs me here is if you look at the back of his ear, you'll see the rough edge it has. That's actually called flashing, which in the mold making process is when the liquid plastic bleeds out in between the two halves of a two-part mold, and it certainly isn't something that should be getting past Hasbro's quality control. Beyond that, I think this stern expression of this face really suits Drax. I mean, had you not known it had been reused, I think you can be excused for thinking it was purpose-made for the character, and I like the painting of the eyes. There's a kind of subtle yellow to the whiteness of the eyes, and then the surround with red makes him look very ominous. My favourite aspect about him is these hands. I love them. The sculpt has a very engineered look to it. It looks like if an actual hand was in there, this gauntlet would actually articulate. The part around the lower arm there is just deco, but it's crisply done. And these hands are the part where I was like, yeah, this is where Hasbro have added something new into the mix of this Frankenstein of reused parts. Then I was like, hang on a minute, those originated with the Marvel Legends Strife. But these can be interchanged for a second set, which I'm sure probably originated with another figure. It just hasn't occurred to me just which one yet. Actually, we'll pop those out, and that gauntlet piece can be popped off too. But let's leave it on, place his hand back in and interchange this one like thus. And it's just occurred to me that these are the same hands that came with the movie Legends Drax, which is logical as this Drax also comes with the movie Legends knife weapons. There being that they're purpose-made to hold these weapons, they are of course naturally a nice snug fit in the hands. And of course, with sharing movie Drax's legs, the knives can also be stowed away into his boots. He does also come with this second set of larger knives, and I actually think they're a better fit for the character. They just have a broader style to them that makes them more comic book looking. As for the actual fit in the hand, because of the broader handle of them, you do really need to wrestle those into the hand. And for where they originate, we have to turn the clock back to 2010 when those originally came with the Marvel Legends Warpath that came in a 2-pack with Deadpool. Switching back to the gauntlet hands, and these larger knives are actually a better fit in these hands. Well, the right hand which is posed to hold it. I guess because the sword accessory that Strife came with probably had a similar sized broad handle to it. Would be nice if his left hand could hold the other knife too, but I wouldn't want to lose the great sculptural gesture that hand has. Now looking at articulation, and his head rotates side to side, he's able to look down a pretty good amount, and he's also able to look up a decent amount. Also at the shoulder his arm rotates and it moves up this far, then there's upper arm rotation, then a double jointed elbow, and then at the wrist the hands rotate, that's both sets, and they're also both hinged to move up and down. There's waist rotation, then an ab crunch which moves this far forward and then moves this far back. At the hips the legs move out to the side a decent amount, they move this far forward and don't really move too far back. There's upper leg rotation followed by a double jointed knee, then at the ankle the feet are hinged moving backwards and forwards, plus they have that ankle rocker pivot that I love. Why do I love it? Because of this, which is him standing at his widest stance possible, still with both feet flat on the floor. Ultimately, I think this recipe really works for Drax, and even though I've spent the entire video pointing out the reused parts, I do feel like they've come together in a very coherent way that's sympathetic to the character. That's what we in customizing call a successful kit bash, and I probably speak for quite a few customizers when I say that when we started customizing we aspired to be like Marvel Legends, and now in a strange twist of fate, Hasbro with their Marvel Legends have become my favorite customizer. Anyway, click the video on the right for the previous episode now to catch up with a question that was asked in that video. Oh, I'd go for Sasquatch, but that Wendigo is pretty good. It's a diamond in the rough from the real dark days of Hasbro's Marvel Legends. Anyway, I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.